Hey, good evening. We are joining ourselves back again at the Raspy Raven Roadhouse. It's only been a week, per se, in game time, but you may come for the fabulous food and drink, or you may come to gossip with old friends you haven't seen in ages. You may come to gather the latest rumors that speak of treasures waiting to be found, or you may come because something in your inner soul attracts you here for no firm reason. Any reason is good enough for coming to the large roadhouse in the middle of the crossroads. The Raspy Raven Roadhouse has stood for as long as you and anyone else can remember. Strange though it would seem that the weathered wood building still has that luster of a newly built tavern inviting new guests for their first time. So let's open the door and enter, and let your visit give answer to what you seek. As we do, a week later has passed since two of our adventurers have been out from a rumor they heard here and made some coin and other things. And as they step back in on a weekday night, late afternoon, early evening, Yang, who are you going to be playing first?
I'm gonna be playing Gunther Steinheim. So Gunther is a scruffy-looking ruffian with bushy eyebrows and shifty eyes. His face is contorted in a scowl for no apparent reason. At the corner of his mouth hangs a toothpick with which he constantly fidgets. As a habit, every minute or so, Gunther turns his head and spits on the ground. He's dressed in ashen leather, studded leather armor.
All right, perfect. As you step in, your friend that you've made, who's went out on previous encounters with you, is stepping in behind you. Daniel, if you can tell me about who you're playing.
I am playing Birch, the monk. She is a slender, young woman. She walks with a calm pace in behind the incessant chewing and spitting of Gunther. Um, not wearing any armor, but just simple clothing, but carrying arms of war to be used when necessary. But Birch ultimately seeks peace, peace of mind, peace of body, and maybe a few pieces of gold. Don't worry, she'll give some to the monastery.
All right, perfect. As you two make your way in, you notice a difference this time. There is quite a few people here, but nothing like the crowd that was there upon your first visit as you've made your way in late afternoon, early evening before maybe a crowd does appear. And you notice, first of all, this gentleman behind the bar. He's standing there with his hand up and laughing and telling some story to a couple of customers at the bar itself. As he sees you two come in, he waves and says, "Please, please, have a seat. I'll have someone take care of you as soon as I can."
Birch will nod and move over to a table that's kind of near the wall so that nobody can kind of creep on up on behind her.
Gunther says, "Yeah, it's very good to be invited to sit down, yeah?" And he makes his way over there and plops down and looks at him.
You see him finishing his story to the couple gentlemen there at the bar, and of course they start laughing and stuff at his story. And you see another young girl come out from behind and starts making her way to you. But about the same time, you start hearing music as you both turn and look over at the stage, where they have performers. And you see this little halfling standing up on the stage, kind of preparing with his fiddle, starting to play and kind of get in tune. You notice that most people are not really paying much attention to her, though, at this point. The other young girl that seems to work there, she comes over to you and a shy deal, and she goes, "Well, welcome to the Raven. You've kind of caught us in the middle of the. Well, lunch is over and dinner's not quite yet served, but we do have some food from lunch left. Or do you just want something to drink?"
Well, I will start with some beer. A big tall pint of beer would be good.
That sounds wonderful. If I could have some hot water, and I will also have a beer. We can wait for dinner to be served. We've been traveling a long way and could use the rest on our feet.
Oh, well, you'll love it. We are having, it's one of the best dinners we have during the week. It is actually a pork tenderloin and served with all these beans and these turnips. And, you've got to have a piece of the sea oat apple pie. It has like almost a salty taste to it mixed in with the apples. And the recipe is from some old sea captain, of course. But yes, it should be not long before all that's ready. But I will bring your drinks to you here shortly. As the
Oh,
girl
sehr
runs
gut.
off.
I will have some apple pie.
Mm.
Bring it out along with my beer, and that'll be good.
She smiles and walks back to the kitchen. You see the little halfling start adjusting her fiddle more and start playing some tunes. A few of the people in the Raven take notice of her and look over. And you see a few of them go over and seem to throw a few coppers and silvers down at her feet as she's playing. You would also notice something else when you come in. You would see like a notice board. And on that notice board, you would have seen a deal up there that says Day Hirelings, Adventures Wanted. And you see a list of names up there. And before we get to that, though, you see a gentleman walk by and he looks at your table and he says, "Oh, well, you two seem to be the kind who go out and look for things to get into and everything. Would I be correct in that assumption?"
I am hoping to see more of the world and learn. Yes.
Well, that is one way to say it. But yeah, we go out there and we adventure, and that is how we make our living. Why? Do you have something that you want to share with us?
Well, you see that man sitting over there, kind of in the corner, and he points at this older guy sitting over there. It's at a table by himself, has a plate of looks like fruit and things, and in a big mug. He says, "He's got something I bet he will be glad to share with you. He's been telling his story to a lot of people all day. If one of you wants to go over there and talk to him."
Well, he spits on the ground. How about you go over there and speak to him? I will just stay here and finish my beer and my apple pie.
I shall speak with them. Please save some pie for me.
I will. Don't worry.
And she gets up. She's not gonna she's got a spear and stuff. She's not gonna carry all that stuff with her. She'll just walk over, by herself. I guess she has a sword on her side, but not looking like she has like an adventure with tons of equipment piled onto her. She's gonna walk up there, and she'll stand in the outskirts of the conversation and listen. She doesn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah, you see the old man sitting there breaking bread and eating some different various fruits off of his platter, and then he takes a big swig of his out of his mug. And roll me a d6, please.
Okay. 1.
A 1. All right. Let me get this sent over to you then. And this is what you will hear him talking about. You should have it on Facebook Message.
Got it. Downloading it now.
Yang is your I'm sorry, Gunther, as you're sitting there, you hear some talk coming from behind you at another table from some people sitting at a table that you kind of, I mean, they're not trying to hide the conversation at all, of course, as you're speaking. If you'll roll me a d6.
I got 2.
2, okay. And I just sent you a deal, Gunther, here on Zoom that you can open it up, and that is what you are hearing the conversation about.
Oh, interesting. He's telling me this, or I'm overhearing him say it.
He's kind of telling people there in the area that are listening to it. You're overhearing. And of course, he sees you standing there and addresses you, of course, as part of the conversation.
Good sir, you say that travelers have reported seeing fires. Are any of these travelers staying here in town?
Well, I believe they have just come and gone. They're just traveling on the road. I've been hearing that from quite a few different travelings, though. And that old temple's abandoned. There hasn't been any of those priests or those, what do you call them, monks? I don't believe there's been any of them up there in years and years.
Yeah, sometimes there are monks in places that you don't expect. And she kind of gives a little smile, and then she turns and walks back to the table where Gunther is eating and drinking and spitting.
All right.
In the meanwhile, at the table, Gunther is just gorging himself. You hear him go, "Look, look, 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 look." And he's basically feeding himself. And once in a while, his ears perk up, and he hears the mention of Broken Wand. And he turns around and looks at the people who are talking about this robbery. What do they look like?
They're just a group of, they seem to be maybe one of them appears to be like probably some type of businessman. He's dressed fairly nice, and a couple others you would probably think are some of the farmers and stuff. And they're speaking like that they probably know this gentleman or know something about him. Or just can't believe that somebody would do that to him in his shop.
Do I know from my stay in in the area where Broken Wand may be?
Oh yeah, you would know how to get to the location. You probably haven't never been there before, but you've actually seen it in traveling and passing through.
Yeah, he just glances back at him and nods at him, and he turns back and starts drinking again.
All right.
So Birch will sit down, and noticing that Gunter's drink is almost gone, she will push the ale that she ordered over to him, and then put some leaves into the hot water that was brought so she could start to make her tea. She's then going to fish into her bag, and she's going to take out this. Oh no, she wouldn't do that. No, forget it. Everything I have is way too valuable to give to the Well, we'll do. So last time, I got this holy symbol, right, from the god of fire, but that didn't really mean anything to us, right? It's just basically a treasure in a sense. Like there's no temple of that god here, right? The Guru.
Yeah, it was very ancient god, but there's probably no current temples, or if there is, it's not around here.
Okay, so oh no, that's not true. I actually have money. So I thought I didn't have any money for a second. I have money. I'm gonna go up to the. While I'm waiting for the tea to brew, I'm gonna walk up to the halfling and put a silver piece, into the hat or whatever that's up there, and I'll stand there and enjoy the music for a little bit, and then I'll turn back and walk to Gunther, and I'll say, well, while I'm up there, I'm going to contemplate. Do I know anything about this, Rayo?
Roll me a d20 on intelligence or wisdom, either one.
Okay, wisdom's better, 15, so I'll try that. 17, so I'm trying to get under, no.
Yeah, you don't, it just, You think for a moment, but you're just not clear on who that would be.
Yeah, I haven't studied. Okay. So, I think about it a little bit, then I smile and, to the halfling, and I walk back to the table and start to have my tea and pie. And I say to Gunther, so that old man's story was interesting, though it wasn't firsthand. Seems he's been speaking with many travelers through the area about an old abandoned temple to the god Reo. That's off in the Starflame Mountains. Do I know where that is at least? Or
Oh yeah, you would know. It's probably a couple days journey from here in this area.
So, which is a bit of a journey. However, it seems they're seeing signs of life there again. Travelers reporting large fires inside the old temple. So either the religious order has come back or something has taken residence in the old temple.
Well, that sounds very lucrative, but it does take us a little bit of travel.
Yeah.
And perhaps we could find a little bit of work around the area. And he leans over and says, I hear that the broken wand was looted. And that fellow, Elsicker, needs some people to track down the culprit and recover his stolen items. Do you
Oh.
think he would reward us if we were to return to him?
I would imagine that is typically the custom. As well, it would be useful to us for us to bring anyone who would commit such a crime to justice.
I think the broken wand is not too far away from here.
Yeah, you would know the Broken Wands in one of the little villages off of down one of the crossroads. It would take 15, 20 minutes to get there.
Okay. Perhaps we should take a walk down there and come back later for dinner, as they're still between shifts.
Yeah, that's good. And I may need to pick up some bottle of oil since we used it last time.
Oh, yes. Very effectively.
And then he pushes over the plate where some portion of that apple pie is saved.
Okay. So, Birch will eat the remainder of the apple pie, finish her tea, and she'll say, did they tell us how much it cost? Or we just,
Yeah, they would have told you, and I'll put it in the notes later.
Okay, yeah. So I leave the silvers or whatever, and then I say, well, let's take a walk. It's good to walk after such a big meal. I say, even though I only had like a quarter of a sliver of pie.
Yeah, you go outside. I will follow you right behind you. And he raises his hand and says, a pork rib, please, in a real loud voice. And he pays the person waiting for his food.
Yeah, you can do that, and y'all are going to walk down to the little village there where the Broken Wand shop is.
Yeah.
Yep. So behind Birch, Gunter has a big rack of, I guess, pork, and he's just munching down on it as he's walking down, walking behind her.
Yep, you make your way down, and when you get into the village, you see a very kind of shoddy old building that is needed some repair, an old wooden building, and on the outside, in very crude lettering, it says the Broken Wand, gifts and things written on it. And as you make your way inside, there are no customers, but you will see this gentleman right here. This older human in there as you make your way in. And he's got these books and these scrolls and papers, and he's muttering and mumbling to himself as he's walking around this shop. He doesn't seem to notice y'all as you come in, even though a little door bell rings.
Okay. Yeah. So Birch sees the old man. She stands there politely waiting to see if he notices us for more time than you would expect. But if he doesn't, then finally she says, "Excuse me."
Oh, oh yes, I didn't hear the bell ring. Trying to get everything organized, and you see the shop is in disarray everywhere. I mean, there seems to be no organization at all. But yes, what are y'all looking for? A gift for a friend, or a gift for your friend, or my friend, or whose friend?
We had heard that your shop was pilfered and that you were looking for someone to retrieve the items that were taken. We have come in search of that work.
He drops the books and scrolls. He just drops them over the floor, and he goes, "Oh, first of all, my manners. I'm sorry. I am. Well, my name is Elsicle. Um, well, they say I used to be powerful, but I don't think I am anymore. Age and well, I guess the dragon got to me too many years ago. But that's not a story you youngsters would want to hear. But yes, somebody did break into my shop and they looted it and took a bunch of my most valuable items. And I just can't find any brave people who would want to track these hooligans down."
Gunther at that moment leans over to Birch and whispers, "It's a little wonder that the shop was looted, yeah? He didn't even notice us when we walked in."
That is true. But his mind may have been occupied by other things. Do you know when this happened?
Well, I do. Let me tell you the story. You see here, a couple weeks ago, this adventuring company come in. They said they went by the name of Benson and Hedges, the Benson and Hedges Adventuring Company. Very stout lads. There was one, two, three, three, two. I mean, one, yeah, five of them. Yes, there was five of them. Very stout looking lads, and I actually had found well, some things I needed to acquire at an old fort, and I was questioning them about if they would be. Well, there was one of them named Benson, and one of them was Hedges, the two that were leading it. But I asked them if they would go and retrieve these items for me and stuff. I would be glad to pay them, and for their services. And they wanted a little money up front, so I gave them a few silver. And oh well, they left and they come back and said that they couldn't find everything, but they still should be paid for their time. And well, I gave them a few silver for that, but they didn't think that was enough, so they left kind of huffy, if you know what I mean. They just, how hooligans can be, get all huffy and puffy about everything. But I think it was them that did it. I think they come back that night and stole my stuff.
Hmm. Well, it seems inappropriate to say the least.
Well, of course, because I paid them for their time. I mean, I don't know what is someone's time worth. I paid them what I could for at least going in and looking and stuff.
Well, did you talk to the constable?
Well, I've reported it to him, but he's always down at the Raven eating that apple pie that some sea captain has a recipe for, so I don't get to. Oh, he's not going to do nothing.
Yeah, I do understand. The pie is very, very good.
Oh,
But
well, if I hire you, you'll probably be down there eating it too, then, huh?
uh, certainly. But tell me a little more about these hooligans. You say there were five of them?
Yes, there were five of them, and the two leaders, one of them was named Benson, one of them Hedges. The other three didn't talk much. They were younger, but oh, they were well armed. They had their weapons and they had some armor on, and they just seemed like the right group of people to go out and recover these items from the old fort. But they said they couldn't find them. I guess somebody else had found them before they did.
Well, if we were to retrieve your items, how much will we be paid?
Oh, well, let me look here. And he starts digging on the floor and picking up one of his books. And he opens up the book and goes, "Oh, well, it's not been a very good past few months as far as selling things, but oh, let me see. I could probably. roll me, Gunther. Roll me your charisma. Do you have a modifier for your charisma?
His charisma is 6, so it's gonna be a
Oh.
negative modifier. All right, so just roll 1d20.
Yep, just roll a d20, and
I got 16.
yeah, he looks up and he goes, "Well, I don't know if I can trust people like you anymore. I mean, I've already dealt with this adventuring company that's, I think maybe, oh, let me look at the books again. I could pay
Um,
each of you 10 silver."
he looks at him and he takes out his toothpick, and as he opens his mouth, you see like chunks of his pork rib still hanging between his teeth, and he says, why could you not trust someone like us?
Well,
Would
you
you
kind of
not?
got, you have
Yeah,
shifty eyes.
shifty eyes. And then he does exactly that. He's got that shifty eyes. I do not
Huh.
have shifty eyes.
Well, just because someone has done you a wrong does not mean that you should then place the blame on others. However, you seem to be in need of help, and we seem to be able to help you. So,
Well, I tell you what, you go and you find them, and if they've got my items, and just talk to them and bring them back and return them, and I will let y'all pick out, something here in the shop too, plus paying you the 10 silver each.
Well, I want something upfront. And then he takes out his two-handed sword that he's found in the previous adventure, and he holds it up. If you could tell me a little bit about this sword, then I think, along with the silver that you're paying up front, that may secure our service.
Well, I have to study and things. I can't just, my mind is not as fresh as it was when I was a youngster. I would be glad to keep your sword, and you would have to give it to me for a day or two and let me look it over. But yes, I will do that and not charge you like I usually charge people for discovering things about swords.
Well, that is good. I will leave this here. Just make sure that some other person does not loot my sword.
Oh no, I will lock it up in the. Um, well, well, I'll have to find it, but I have somewhere I can lock it up. Yes, yes.
And then he studies his face and says, well, if you could trust us, then I will trust you. And gives him the sword.
Yes, perfect. And well, let me tell you, they told me, this Vincent and Hedges. They said they usually camp out down at the old oh, what's the name of that river? Washamush, I think is the name. Anyway, y'all will know if you don't. Ask somebody in the village. I can tell you how to get there, but they like to camp out there and go fishing, so that's probably where you're going to find them.
Do you have the map of the area?
Oh, well, let me look. I may have one, but hold on just a moment. He starts digging through more papers, and he just, if it's not it, he tosses it on the floor, and he finally says, "Oh, well, here is an old map of the area. Look here. Yeah, it is Washamush." And he shows you this river crudely drawn on this map, and you see the village marked by an X. And he goes, "Just go to the river, and I bet you'll find their little camp somewhere."
Gunther looks at Birch and says, he shrugs, doesn't say anything.
well, walking along the river can be a beautiful journey.
Yes, but he did say that there are 5 people. They may have hired some of these warriors.
Right.
I
Well,
think we may want to hire some of our helpers.
well, don't you think we should just speak with them first? See if they're innocent.
Yeah, but what if they decide to just rob us too? If they are indeed the folks that have looted poor El Cicle here, then it is likely that they will take whatever we owned.
Material possessions, what do they really mean? But we are also not old men.
That is as you say. But Gunther, he nods, and he looks at Elsicle. Well, consider us hired, and we will be back with your items. You have a good day, then.
As you start finishing up, the door opens and the bell tinkles. And as you do, Gunther, roll me a d4.
I got 4.
All right, I'm going to send you another file here. And these gentlemen are going to be walking in the door, and then we'll go into what they say after I send you this file. So, whatever number 4 is on here, keep track. And let me send Birch real quick. Roll a d4, Daniel.
Sure. 3.
All right, I'm sending you a PDF, and number 3 on there will be.
Okay.
You see these gentlemen walk in the door, and Elsicle looks up and goes, "Oh, what perfect timing!" And he looks back towards you, Birch, and back towards Gunther, and he goes, "These people here come in the every day looking to go on an adventure, but I didn't know who to send them to. Maybe you could help them out." And those will be your day hirelings. Roll me, both of y'all roll me a 2d6.
I got 8.
11 and an 8.
Yep.
All right. The one that looks towards you, Birch, goes, "Oh, yes, I will be glad to help you out. It costs 2 silver a day, though, for me to go. And if we find anything else, of course, we could maybe split up things like that. But I will be glad to go. I need work."
You want 2 silver pieces and you want a cut?
Well, just a small cut if we find something that's valuable.
Do you have a family to support?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
They will always say that they have a family to support, yeah?
She agrees.
And he looks at him. Do you really have a family to support?
Yes, I do. And you can tell he's probably being truthful.
Okay. Well, maybe he does. And he looks at the other guy. And
Yeah, the one that's looking at you, Gunther, goes, "I work for 6 silver a day."
Well, this man looks a little bit more seasoned than the others. What do you do?
And you rolled a 4, right?
Yeah. Seems
I
like
was
a cleric.
trained in the temples, and I have I have training in healing, of course. I had to leave the temple, though, because, I don't know, it just wasn't the life for me. But I can still use the powers that were given to me, though.
All of a sudden, Gunther, takes out that 6 silver pieces and hands him the pouch, the small pouch, and says, "You're hired."
All right, perfect.
Well, excellent. Seems to be at a party.
Huzzah, I say. He looks at the other guys. Well, my name is Gunther Steinheim. And I'm a little bit of an archer. And he points at his bow that he's carrying.
And I am Birch. I travel the land seeking balance and knowledge.
And what are your names?
The cleric looks at you and says, "Well, no, you can call me Henry." And the other gentleman with the crossbow and stuff looks and he says, "Well, you can call me Frank."
Excellent. is excellent to meet your acquaintance. Let us go down and see if these men have caused the harm that they have been accused of.
Yeah, as Gunther motions them to come out of the shop, he says, "Well, you're here at the shop to buy something, I suppose. So find us outside, and I shall be waiting for you there." And Gunther steps out.
Yep, Birch also goes out.
Yep, and y'all can make your way and follow this crude old map towards the Washamush River. It takes you probably about an hour to get there, you would think. You don't meet anybody. It's a pretty barren area as you make your way to the river. You can travel, once you get there, it travels pretty much north-south. This river does. Would y'all like to go up the north side first or south side?
Which way does the river run? We'll go upriver.
Going upriver? Okay, you go north. You begin traveling up north. You go for quite a ways. I mean, you know how much time you want to spend. If we're saying an hour or so, you don't see any signs of any traffic in this area, of any horses or humanoid traffic or anything. You don't see anything else. It's pretty quiet and desolate, it seems to be.
Gunther turns to the party. He looks at Henry and Frank and basically explains to them the situation, that they're going after some people that may have robbed the place. So he says, it won't be a very safe journey, so be prepared for battle. And he also asks, by the way, do you know a place that is good for fishing along the river?
You ask the two hirelings that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Frank looks at you and he goes, well, you know, there used to be some good fishing down in the south part of the river.
Well, you know the area better than we do. Why don't you lead us there?
Well, sure, I will be glad to take you that way. Let's go back.
And then he nods and follows him.
Y'all travel back to kind of where you started from and begin south. You go about 30 minutes or so. You start hearing some noise, some voices talking and stuff and laughing and carrying on, coming from on up ahead as you're traveling the river. You don't see anybody quite yet, though.
Well, perhaps we should speak with them first before we make any kind of accusation.
Yeah, but let me sneak out there and see whether if they have any of the items that the wizard has described.
Okay.
I could take a little peek. And he crouches down and takes out his short bow and looks at the rest and says, "Let me show you its features." And then pulls out the string so that it makes that twinging sound. Ting! And he goes down the river in stealth to survey these people.
I will get my longbow out and advise Frank to just be ready with his crossbow just in case.
All right. Let me look up something real quick. You're going to try to move silently.
Yeah, at his level, it's 23%.
All right.
Oh. I'm better at it than you are.
You move down, Gunther, and you see a group of 5 men sitting along the bank there. They have like a little makeshift camp set up with a couple of tents. You can see one of them's fishing. One of them appears to have a fire going to try to cook something, and they're laughing and carrying on, dressed in a various type of clothing and armor. And as you're sitting there watching them, thinking you're out of the way, one of them looks over and he goes, "Well, come on in, stranger. Or would you like a cup of coffee?"
Well, yeah, you are fishing down here? And he looks up and, he just walks up towards them.
Yeah. Let's see. Birch, roll me a wisdom check, D20 against your wisdom.
Okay. I rolled a 6. My wisdom is 15. So that's
Yeah, you notice maybe you don't hear exactly what the voices say, but you hear some voices talking and probably notice Gunther say something back and seem like he's going on towards the camp.
So I look at the other two and I say, seems we are making contact. And she'll kind of just she'll keep her bow in her hand like she's out hunting or something, and she'll advise everybody to walk forward, and she'll lead the way.
All right. Gunther, as you walk in, the gentlemen are very friendly, and they say, "Well, yes, we're just camped out here, enjoying the fishing, enjoying the great breeze and the wonderful air. And by the way, they call me Benson. This is my friend Hedges. All of us together are kind of a little adventuring company, even though we don't have much adventuring going on right now. What about you?"
Guten Tag. My name is Gunther Steinheim, and I am here looking for a wild boar, a Wildschwein. I'm looking to hunt it so that I may have a wonderful roast tonight.
Well, we'll be glad to cook it for you if you kill it.
Well, how's your fishing going?
Oh, the fishing is always excellent. And you see they have a large string of caught fish, and one of them's preparing some to cook for the meal.
Well, maybe we should. I have few of my fellows out there searching for the boar. Perhaps they could join us and have some food together.
Now, please, have them come on in.
And then Gunther turns back and says, "Yo, hello, my friends. These folks are very friendly and they want to share some food with us. Let us halt our boar hunting and join them," he yells.
Yeah, I mean, I was already heading in that direction, so I guess whenever I arrive.
Yep, you arrive in and see the 5 men there in various stages. One of them's fishing. You see the 2 what would appear to be more mature, older ones that are sitting there that have been talking to Gunther. You see the tents and everything, and they say, "Well, yes, please, we have plenty of fish. The fish are always plentiful. You can call me Benson, and this is my friend Hedges. We run an adventuring company, even though we haven't done much adventuring lately."
I am Birch, seeker of knowledge and balance. It seems the wizard in town has accused you of stealing from him. Is this true?
When you say that, the 2 younger ones that are there in the camp, they kind of get wide-eyed, looking straight towards you, Birch. They don't say anything. The gentleman who introduced himself as Hedges, he stands up and he goes, "Ha! Well, I don't know exactly what the Wizard El Sickle told you, but you seem to be reasonable people, so why don't I tell you the story of what happened, and you make your decision where we go from there."
Well, let me tell you, we were just stopping by the wizard's place to pick up something and have one of my swords identified. But he did mention that some folks came in and took some of his stuff, and he did say that the last folks that had much interaction with him was you folks. We weren't really expecting to run into your lot here. We were actually on our way to another place. to get some adventuring. Ha ha ha, he says.
Well, let me just tell you, and the Hedges guy, let me just tell you the story. We stopped in there a few weeks ago, and he's eyeing both of y'all. He'll go back from one to the next, eyeing Gunther and Birch. And we were going to buy some things, and the old man said he had a job that we looked like we were sturdy enough to do a job for him. He wanted us to go out to some old keep, castle, fort, something, and he had a map, and he told us if we would go out there and retrieve these items that were supposedly there at the place and bring them back, he would pay us for our services. Well, he actually gave us a few silver up front, not many, but enough to, expenses to get out there. So yeah, we go out to the old camp or fort or whatever you want to call it, the old keep, and didn't have much trouble. I mean, it was a pretty easy trip. There were a few snares and snags there in the old keep we had to get around, but we found all these items. We sacked them up, brought them back to the old man. He looked at them, and he told us that those were fakes. Those weren't the things he was looking for, and he was not going to pay us.
Well, that does not seem very fair.
Oh, not at all. I mean, we did what the old man wanted, and all of a sudden, the one named Benson, he starts, he's been shifting around. He looks and he goes, yeah, we broke in there. We went back. I mean, we didn't want to cause any trouble with the old man. I mean, he's not someone that we would take on in a fight, of course. I mean, so we just all left and decided, well, we'll just cut our losses. But, it's my fault because I thought, you know what? If the old man's not going to pay us for the items, we'll just go back in there and take them and go sell them to somebody else. And yeah, we went back in there and got them, and they were there in the tent there. But, what do you think is fair? I mean, we did our job. The old man didn't pay us. So what do you think?
So the old man took the items, but did not pay.
Yeah, he kept them. He told us they were fakes, but he was keeping them because he was going to contact the town constable the next day and tell them that we were hooligans, I believe is the word he used.
Well, how about this? The old man is supposed to have some reward for returning some of his items. So, how about we split it? You have taken it, but now, if we were to return the items, we bring the money back, and then we split evenly.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, if you want to take the items, that's fine. Take them. We made a hasty decision by breaking in, and we shouldn't have done that to the old man. I mean, you take them. We just won't done with the old man. We won't deal business with him again. But if you want to take the items, that's fine. We're not going to cause you any issue.
Well, it seems that you should at least be paid for your time. She's going to go into her purse and take out the 8 silver that remains of the 10 that the old man gave her. And she said, this is not much, but I will give you this for now. And depending on what the old man gives us as a reward for returning the items, we shall return. We are honest people, and we hear your case, and you seem to be speaking the truth from what I can tell. Then she reaches out with the silver pieces to give to the guy.
The Benson guy, he's just kind of frozen as you say this. He doesn't know what to say. And Hedges walks up to you and he goes, well, you seem to have a good heart too. I'll tell you what you do. Don't give us any silver yet. You take the items back to the old man. You see what luck you have with them. And if you feel like the need to come back and bring us a cut of whatever he gives you, if he gives you anything, I mean, don't be surprised if he doesn't accuse you of bringing false items, fake stuff back to him. But if he does give you something, you find us. We'll be here for the next couple of days.
Excellent. Do you know anything about the Temple of Rhea?
Hedges, he's kind of pondering and all that. You see one of the young guys, not the one that's fishing, but one of the other 2 young guys that's been in the camp himself. He goes, isn't that an old temple that's up in those mountains?
Yes, I heard rumor of some activity up there, and we were thinking to explore when we came upon the old man. So our plan was to go there. I was just curious if you knew anything about it, being adventurers, and we would not want to head to an empty keep, as it seems you were doing.
The young guy says, "Yeah, I was in that Raven Roadhouse the other night having. Man, have you ever had that apple pie they have? Oh my gosh, it is delicious." But
Yeah.
anyway, I was in there and I
Everything's-
heard an old man saying something about that. A bunch of the merchants traveling through the area is talking about all these large fires or whatever, or flames coming up from the old temple. But that place has been abandoned a long time.
Interesting. Well, let us deal with the old man first, and if we find anything at the temple as well, maybe we will talk. We might need some people to join us, depending. I wouldn't want to enlist you at this point because we don't know what we're walking into. But yeah, let's talk to the old man first. If he is not in his right mind, then I guess we'll go from there. And then she awaits for the items to be brought out.
And they do. The other young man there goes in one of the tents and he brings out this big sack and they open it up and show you. It's got all these various old looking items. I mean, of different things. And Benson says, that's what the old man wanted. I mean, we found it at the place he sent us to, and then he tells us they're fakes. So good luck is all I can tell you.
Where is this place that you went to?
He looks over at Hedges, and Hedges says, "Well, I still have the map here." And he pulls out the map, and he shows you a map.
Well, where does it seem like? I mean, is it something that he would know? Is it a
If you look
place
at the
that would know?
map, I mean, it looks like it's probably a few days travel from this area here, probably 3 days or so.
Yeah, he asks, so what sort of place was this? A tomb, perhaps?
No, it was like an old castle or an old fortress, an old keep. It was all crumbled in on itself and grown up with vines and trees growing up in the middle of it. I mean, it was just out in the middle of nowhere. The old man, well, Mr. Elsicle said that somebody come in and brought a book that told the legend about it, and he wanted all these items because he says they're valuable, and he's going to clean them up and sell them.
Well, did you have a very good look at the place? Perhaps there are some rooms that you left behind.
No, we covered most of the ground of it. I mean, there didn't seem to be anything we missed. I mean, it was pretty much the list of things that he wanted. I mean, we found a few silver coins we kind of put in our pockets ourselves. He wouldn't want those.
Hmm. Well, how much for the map?
No, you can have it. We're not going back there. We've got everything. You can just take it with you.
Well, that's a fair deal. And he takes the map and says, well, thank you. Let us go back and see if we could haggle with the old man. If we have anything in return, we will split it with you.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if the old man pays you, I mean, like I say, don't be surprised though if he doesn't accuse you of bringing in fakes to just try to get your money.
Yeah, that is good. And then thank you for the fish.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you soon, and you have excellent journeys and much wealth in your future.
Yes, and thank you for listening to the side of our story without drawing swords.
Well, we are all adventurers here, and we make our living by robbing tombs and old castles and such. We understand your plight.
Yes. All right, so yeah, I think we'll bundle up the stuff that they give us and let's go back. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Yep, you head your way back,
And
and you're almost back. Whew, that wouldn't be good, would it? Let's see. You let's see, both of y'all roll a wisdom d20 against your wisdom, and you need under.
Wisdom, I rolled under 8.
I rolled a 1, so that's definitely under.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Bert, you probably see it just seconds ahead of, or hear it seconds ahead of Gunther. Then you both, as you're making your way back on the road to go back to the little village, you both hear in the sky like flapping of wings. And you look up high in the sky, and you see a large creature flying over the area, and it is green and scaly as it is flying over, crossing over the road, probably, we'll say, 300 yards from you. It does not appear to notice you at all.
I'm gonna move quickly, but not like too quickly. Like I'm not gonna scatter because I know that like a predator might see that as something to go after. But I'm gonna briskly, like, and I'll grab my henchman and move off to the side into the trees.
Are there trees nearby?
Yeah, you can find some small trees along the roadway.
Okay. Gunther just sidesteps into the bush and ducks under a particularly heavy bush.
Y'all were able to do that. You see this flying creature just kind of veer off as it never comes close to the road. It just seems to veer off and go back on further out to the west. And if you watch it long enough, it just disappears out of the eyesight from you in the sky.
Phew. Yeah, he comes out of there and lets out a long sigh and says, "Well, that is why we're getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
All the hazards on the road."
That's the truth. These roads can sometimes be covered with monsters of giant size, like scorpions, gnats, or dragons.
Yeah, and werewolves. It's a good thing that a fella cleared out all the werewolves in the area. Klaus was his name, yeah?
Yes, that's good. Werewolves are terrible things. Right. So we will then, I'll collect my henchmen. You just left yours. You're like close to the side.
He goes up to the road and says,
standing in the middle of the road.
"What are you doing out here? You're just standing out here. The creature might have seen you."
Y'all make it back to El Sickle's little shop. The doorbell rings. When you walk in, he sees you this time and he goes, "Oh, new to the shop. Please come on in. What are you looking for today?"
New to the shop? My name is Gunther. We just spoke about 2 days ago. No, about a day ago.
About 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Was it that short of time?
I mean, we went out for an hour and then up and then back. So I mean, maybe 4 hours. Right? It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, roughly 4 to 5 hours, probably. Oh, yes, you were in here this morning. I remember you. Did you have something you wanted to sell, or what can I help you with?
Nine, you have my sword. You've trying to identify it for me?
Oh,
big
yes.
sword?
Oh, I remember you now, but yes, I told you that would take me a week or two. I can't just, I'm not, the dragon stole my powers, and I can't just magically do it just like I used to when I was a youngster.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that you remember me. Well,
yes, I would never forget a face, never.
Well, we did have some luck with tracking down these hooligans that you mentioned before.
Oh, you're the ones that were going to get my bag of items. Did you find them?
Benson and Hedges, yeah? And I have them. And he takes out the bag that he's received from the other adventuring company.
Elsicle walks over and he starts looking in the bag and starts pulling things out of it. And he goes, "Oh my, this is it. These are the things. Oh, I've got to clean them up and put them on the shelves to sell. They just gave them back to you?"
Well, we had to do a little bit of our adventuring application. But yeah, in the end, what matters is that we have secured your items. And what was going to be the reward? You said
Oh,
five.
wait, I wrote it down. Wait, let me go to my books. And he goes and opens his big book up and let's see. Well, now, I told y'all, was it 50 silver each, right?
Uh, he looks at his companion, Birch, and he looks back. I thought that it was going to be 50 gold. 9?
Oh, you must be, you're not from around here. There's not many people dealing gold around here.
I'm quite certain that you said 50 gold or 500 silver pieces.
Oh, you are trying to take advantage of the old man. I'm going to get the constable if you do not leave now.
Well, I could be mistaken. He looks at his companions, Birch and the other two.
So Birch says, I do not recall an exact number of silver pieces that were promised to us. But what I do know is that you said we could take each an item from the shop. In addition to that.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. Your friend here is trying to take advantage of this old man, and my memory is still good. Don't forget that. I don't like somebody trying to take advantage of me. I'm going to give you, nice lady, I'm going to give you the 50 silver, and your friend here, I'm giving him 5 silver for doing this.
Ach, that is too heavy a punishment for having a forgetful memory.
Oh no, you're too young to be forgetful. No. But I tell you what, yes, I did say I could let you look around the shop and all that. Yes. I have valuable things here. You see everything that is so valuable. Oh, young lady, what would you like? Roll me a D12, Birch.
I'll take that number 10, please.
He goes and picks up, it's one glove. It's not a matching set, but this glove is like well worn. I mean, it's got almost finger holes in it. And he says, this glove will protect you when you need it the most. I researched it and I know what it does. And I'm going to type in the chat what it does.
I was going to say.
What he tells you it does.
I know what it does, but I'm not going to tell you.
That's what he tells you, that it will help improve and protect you. But that's the actual mechanics of it.
It's just a one-time use thing.
Nope, you can. It's good for now. I mean, for as long as you wear it.
Oh. Okay. But I mean, like,
I mean, I mean, it's like when you wear it and put it on, it lasts for that particular round time limit.
Oh, so I put it on and then okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
sorry.
then it will go into effect.
Gotcha. All right, so I like stick it.
So it's kind of like once a day type, pretty much.
Okay, fair enough. So I just put it on to activate it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. All right. So, so I say thank you very much, good sir. And I step back.
He walks over towards Gunther, and Gunther, he's bent over and stooped over. I don't know how tall you are, but he looks up at you and he goes, "I'm gonna do what I said I was going to do and let you have something, but you remember, don't you ever try to fool your elders again like that. That's why you only get 5 silver. Roll me a D12, Gunther."
D12. Gotcha. He says, well, how about that one over there? And then I got 9.
A 9? Oh man, this will work perfect for you. You look at that and you see a quiver of arrows. And they're like real dark black shafted arrows. He says, "Oh, you are an archer, I know, and these will work best for you because when you shoot something and hit it, this arrow will catch fire. and damage them even more than the arrow itself. And then roll me a d10 plus 1.
2 plus 1, 3.
All right. He goes over there, and there is the quiver that he gives you. Only has 3. There's 3 of those arrows in it.
Okay.
And I will give you the mechanics of it, of what it does here.
That's like custom made for you. I have this magical black liquid here that when you put fire on it, it expands. You can throw it. It's quite deadly.
He leans over to Birch and says, well, the old man is very nice. If I was that old man, then I would have just taken my sword and not given me any gold or silver at all.
Yes. He does seem like a nice man. Perhaps the other crew just caught him in a bad moment.
Yeah.
So I will say to Elsicle, thank you for your time. We are heading off on adventure, and perhaps we will see you again. Well, we will definitely see you again when we come back to get the sword.
Oh, yes. Please. Yes. I'm going to take a good look at your sword and see if there's anything I can find out about it. And you come back, give me, I told you 1 month? No, 1 week. That's right. 1 week. Come back in a week or so, and I will be glad to give you any information on it. And don't try to pull the wool over my eyes again, though, young whippersnapper.
Well, my name is Gunther, and I think I have learned my lesson.
Yes, you have.
And he says, by the way, what happened with the dragon? He took your powers?
Oh, many years ago. Well, it happened just out of town here. I was walking down the road looking for blackberries because I used to love to make blackberry pie. And I heard it in the sky, and I looked up, and I didn't know what to do. And it was coming. It was green, and it was scaly, and it was big, and it come towards me. And well, I tried to use my powers on it, and when I did, something happened. And it took my powers, and it laughed at me, and it flew over me and left. And I never saw it again.
Gunther's eyes open up wide, and he says, you said it was green and it was flying? We saw something like that.
No. This was so many years ago. It's dead by now.
9 on the way back here. And he looks at Birch and the other 2 companions, and he says, go tell them. I'm not telling a lie. You all saw it.
We did indeed see what could have been a dragon flying through the air. It was green and scaly.
Well, maybe it had children then, but no one's seen dragons around here in ages.
Yeah. They are rare, though they do live for a long time, I've heard. It's best to stay away from dragons. That's the motto of my clan. So she'll, kind of give a polite nod, and then she'll make her way out into the street. How many people are there in that adventuring company?
There was 5 of them.
5 of them. Okay, well, I don't mind giving each of them 10 silver for the 50 that he gave me, because I'm a monk now, I don't care about money. And I will give this is my plan. We have to go out there and see the show. It's still there. But I'll give Frank right now 2 more silver, so I'll double his.
All right. He's very grateful.
Yeah. And I'll say, where are you staying? Because we may need you again as we will be traveling.
Well, please, anytime. We put up a notice at the Raspy Raven, but you can always find us in the village here, or somebody will find us or can lead us, or just come see the old man here. He can probably help find us.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, she'll give him the rest of the day off because she doesn't suspect that it's going to be a problem. Hopefully, the dragon won't attack us now. She's thinking there's not going to be a problem going back to the thing. Of course, she could be wrong. But
Well, Gunter says, well, should we go and meet those folks?
yeah, I think we should. Are you going to keep your henchman with you? I mean, you paid him six.
Yeah, I mean, he gave him 6 silver pieces, and he says, well, here's 2 more. I only received 5 silver pieces myself, so I believe 2 more silver pieces would allow you to accompany us, yeah?
Yes, of course. He'll definitely go with you if you want him to.
Yeah, let's go then, Henry.
Okay, yeah, so we head back towards the where we found those men.
Yep, you make it back to their camp. You're going the same day. Probably the time you get there, it's going to be pretty dark, you would think. But y'all do want to go back this evening to them?
Yeah, I mean they have like an actual camp, right?
Yeah, they've got actual camp set up there on the river.
So I guess if we would know that before, I would say to Gunter, if we go tonight, which I think we should, just to get this over with, we'll probably have to stay out there, unless you want to just. Well, I guess it's not. It's only an hour away, right?
Yeah, roughly an hour straight in there. You know where it's at.
Let's just go in the morning. I say it's safer to stay at the Raven. Why should we stay in the field if we don't need to?
Yeah, they're good. But he looks at Henry. He says, I will expect you to travel with us tomorrow morning, too.
Yes. I can meet you out here right outside of the shop here at the Broken Wand.
They're good. I will see you then.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just go back to the Raven and eat and rest, or if anything exciting happens overnight. Otherwise, we'll do it in the morning.
Yep. When you get back to the Raven, you see they have that dinner ready. What she described. You have a hearty meal. The little halfling is playing her instrument, and the crowd gets bigger and bigger. Still not quite as big as it was the first night you were there, but bigger than it was a few hours ago.
Yeah, he flings a couple of coppers to the halfling. Penny fiddle flame.
Do we?
Yep, she'll play even more.
Do we think that it might not be crowded? I mean, not that we know the place, but do we think it might not be so crowded because of the day of the week it is, or does that seem unusual that it's not crowded?
It's probably just the day of the week. It's being kind of the middle of the week. You would probably think it's just, the last time you were here was more or less a weekend.
Okay. Yes, we're not like overly concerned if there's a problem.
Oh, no, it shouldn't, no.
Okay. Yeah, then I would just, eat a decent meal and rest up to get ready for possible confrontation with the dragon tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all are able to get secure a room there. You stay the next morning, and you go back to the Broken Wand and meet your gentleman there. He's waiting on you to go. Y'all are going back out to the camp, the fishing camp. You know where it's at. You find your way there, and you see there's only one guy there. It's one of the young guys that is there as you arrive.
He says, what happened to the rest of your party?
Oh, well, they went out into the forest this morning going on a hunt. You had spoken of the boars and things, so they all went out hunting this morning for one.
Well, I see. We have the items returned, and we have some silver to give to you as we promised.
Yes, I am John. I will be glad to take it and give it to Benson and Hedges if you like.
9. You will have your share, but we will give to the rest of your party individually.
Oh, well, I don't know what time they'll be back.
Well, we can stay in your little camp and fish and enjoy the weather. So, here. And he hands him over, he motions to Birch. Do you have his share, Birch?
Yeah. Birch has basically a pouch with the 50 silver pieces in it. I guess she reaches and hands out his.
You're giving each of them 10, is that right?
Yeah, I guess that's
right.
what I'll do. I don't know how they normally divide their treasure, but from her point of view, she just sees that as since Gunther said to do it, he knows more about this kind of stuff than she does. So
Yep, he takes it and seems to be very overjoyed. Y'all want to hang out there to see if they come back anytime soon?
Yeah.
You hang out for what you would think would be a good hour. The young guy seems to go back. He goes back to fishing again. An hour goes by. They're not back. It's probably still fairly early. Maybe 9, 10 a.m. roughly.
Yeah, Gunther's gonna plop down next to that young man and grab an extra fishing pole if there is one. And he's gonna try to fish too.
Yep, you do that, and as you do that, since you're doing that, Gunther, roll me a D100.
D100. I got 41.
41. No, it won't be too bad. Let's see. Both of y'all roll a wisdom too, D20 against your wisdom.
Ooh, I failed. 14.
Oh man, I also failed 16. Oh god, against 15.
Do I roll for my henchman?
Yeah, and I'm going to roll for the fisherman guy.
Oh no, I rolled 18, so I don't think he made it.
Yep, the fisher guy failed also pretty bad. So y'all are going to be surprised by these guys. But we'll go ahead and roll initiative and have it set up. D6 in your dex mod. And your henchman, I'll roll for the fisherman. And your henchman will go on your turn, of course.
I got 6.
All right, 6 for Gunther. What about Birch?
Okay, so I'm 5. Okay, yeah. +1 initiative with the 16 dex. So 5.
All right. You are surprised at first, though, as y'all are kind of, doing whatever you're doing. Let me grab me another D20 here. We're going to see who gets targeted, of course. Gunther, you and the fisherman both were targeted by arrows.
Ooh.
These 2 arrows shoot out from behind y'all. They both are going to miss, though. One of them pretty bad. The other one flies over. As you turn around, you see a band of 4 little goblins that have come out. They're probably about, we'll say, 60 yards from you, 50 to 60 yards. And Gunther, you're up first.
Okay, he's going to turn around and grab the short bow that he carries. And in one slick motion, he's going to fire at him.
All right.
Let's see. And with a 2, it's a wild miss.
Yep, that is a pretty bad miss.
You got to go accuracy over speed there, hot shot.
Yeah. And I guess Henry could also go and do something, right?
Yeah, if he's got any weapons that he can use from there or not, or what he needs to do.
He's got a mace, so I guess he doesn't actually.
He can, if he wants to start moving in that way towards him, he can.
Yeah, he's gonna. Gunther's gonna yell out, "Goblins! Henry, go out there and charge at them." And Henry's gonna do as he's told, I guess.
Yeah, roll me 2d6.
2d6. And I got 2.
Oh no. Henry looks at you and he goes, "Well, someone else is going to have to go with me. I'm not going to charge out there by myself." And he starts preparing his mace, but he doesn't go that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bert says, "I don't disagree with that move, Henry."
And we're up to Birch. Birch and the fisherman both had a 5. Birch, you can go.
All right, so she's gonna pick up her longbow that she has there, and she's gonna take a shot. 12 plus 2, 14. Oh, that hits. Sorry, AC 5.
Yep, that hits him.
Okay, and longbow. D6. Oh, 6 max damage.
All right, I'm gonna roll random to see which one you hit.
Yeah,
oh man, you actually hit the one that had the most hit points, and that's exactly what he had. What do you kill him at?
Cool. Yeah, so I literally say that like the gunner spins around and like shoots wildly and being on the next step in initiative, Birch says accuracy over speed, and then picks up the longbow, shoots it, and drops one of the goblins.
The fisherman is going to run and drop his fishing pole, and you see him pick up a long sword, and he says, he looks towards the Frank, and he goes, "Well, come on, I'll go with you." And he starts running out towards him. He's not going to get there this time, but he does run out towards them. The goblins had a 2, so they will go next. 2 of them are going to take bow shots again. They're going to target Gunther and Birch this time.
Okay.
Ooh, Gunther, the one on you will hit for 2 points.
Ooh.
And Birch, the one on you barely misses, goes flying by you.
Okay.
The other one, you see him pull out a sword, and he starts running towards to meet probably either Frank or the fisherman. As well, back to you, Gunther.
Gunther's going to aim at the ones that are shooting at him, and let's see if he hits. He hits armor class 7.
That will barely miss it.
Darn it.
Yep, it goes scooting by him.
Okay, can he also move at the same time?
Yeah, if you want to move closer or back further, or how do you want to?
He's going to jump in the water.
All right. Yeah, it's not too deep. It's not too deep, this river area, is it?
Yeah, I mean, he's figuring that he's going to be able to take cover from the arrows that are coming at him. So he does that and says, "Well, Henry, the fishing fellow is going after them. Get him with your mace." And he just takes cover in the water.
As I run into the water.
Yeah, as I run away. Yep, he'll run. He'll start running with the fisherman next to him.
And he says, "I will cover you with the arrow." Splash.
Birch, we're up to you then.
All right, I'm gonna target one of the archers.
All right.
Figuring the other, so that's 16. So the 12.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit, man.
This guy though, 4. Okay, so
Well, that's exactly what he had. How do you take him out?
yeah. So she shoots the first one, and then she kind of looks around and she sees that the archers are probably the most dangerous to us because the other 2 brave characters are going after the melee fighters. So she takes aim and just drops the other goblin.
Yep, he drops. The one with the sword is met by the fisherman. Is just a few steps ahead of Frank. The fisherman is going to strike him pretty good hit, but he doesn't do much damage to him. Frank will be there now. We'll say
Henry.
Gunther with the fisherman. I mean, yeah, Henry. I'm sorry.
Frank's back home with his family.
So he'll be close.
One was D8.
The goblins. Let's see. The one at the bow is going to. He feels pretty confident about hitting you staying in the river, and I believe that is going to hit. Yep, Gunther, he will hit you for 2 more points of damage with another arrow.
Oof.
The one with the sword, he's going to strike into, let's see which one he hits. He's going to hit into Henry for 3 points of damage.
Kill a cleric, we need him.
That should take Henry down, though, shouldn't it? Don't he have 3 HP?
Hold on a second.
I'm pretty sure they all had 3.
Yeah, he does have 3 HP. He had
All
AC
right.
4, though.
Yeah, this guy rolled 18 on the die. So.
Oh, man.
Let's see. He's exactly at 0, so he's unconscious right now. I'm going to say. I'm using my house rules for that. So he's unconscious. He fall. You see Henry just fall down.
He got hit by a sword? Is that it?
Yeah, he's got struck by a sword.
Ooh.
And we're back to you, Gunther, as you've been hit by another arrow.
Okay, he emerges out of the water, realizing that it's not giving him any cover at all. And he knocks another arrow and shoots at it. It's like, I will get you, you little bastard. And this time he hits AC 4.
Oh, yeah, AC 4 hit him.
And he does 3 points of damage.
Yep, you strike into him. He's still standing. He kind of staggers a little bit, but he's still up. And Henry went down, so there's nothing he can do. We're up to you, Birch.
Okay, so there's still 2 up though, right?
Yep, there's one with a sword that's standing there between the fisherman and Henry is down, and there's another one standing a little bit, probably 10, 20 feet behind him with this bow that's shooting towards Gunther.
Yeah, the archers who I'm gonna.
All right.
They seem the most dangerous. Okay, that's a 13 plus 2 is 15 sided. It's AC 4.
Yep, that hits him.
That hits, and I also realized I should be rolling a D8 and adding 1 to my damage per month. I haven't done either of those 2 things.
Yeah.
But this time I will. 4 points total.
Yeah, that takes this one out also, then. The other bowman is out.
Right. I shoot my 3rd arrow and another goblin drops. And then I look over at Gunter and I say, I'll save the last one for you.
Well, I don't feel too good with all the blood coming out of the arrow whores.
The fisherman is going to try to take out the little sword goblin. Oh, man, the fisherman rolls good, and he is going to do it. He takes out the last one.
Nice.
Strikes him down, and he's trying to help Henry, it appears now, that you don't see any more foes around.
Yeah, I'm going to move up to where Henry is too to help, but also I'm not looking at Henry at this moment because I see that he's being tended to, but I'm moving that direction with my bow in my hand if I see any more goblins in the woods.
Same thing with Gunter. He's all wet, but, he's still got his arrow.
Yeah, Gunther, roll me a D6.
Okay, don't tell me a shark comes out there. It's a bull shark. All right. 4.
He's going to be out unconscious for 4 turns, so basically 40 minutes. Henry is down for about 40 minutes unconscious.
Okay.
But yeah, you move up, Birch. You don't see or hear anything else out in the forest line. Nothing else comes out, or nothing running away, or nothing that you can decipher.
Okay, so for the next little bit, especially since they're healing up one of our crew members when they drag him back to the camp or whatever, I'll stay a little bit out here, so I'm a bit ahead, so I can be closer to anything, so I'll be more aware, I guess. So in other words, I'm keeping guard now, because we weren't really keeping guard before, we were just hanging out. Now I'm going to keep guard.
Yep, you're able to do that. The fisher guy, he helps do whatever needs to be done. He keeps his sword on now, knowing that there's foes out there that can sneak up on people. 40 minutes or so passes. Henry will wake up. Roll a D6 and divide it into D3, Gunther.
I rolled 3.
You rolled a 3 on a D6?
Yeah.
All right. Henry will have 2 HP back then. He'll recover 2 HP as he comes back and starts waking up.
Okay. And he could also cure light wound, right?
Yep,
so,
he can.
And Gunther is going to say, well, you're a cleric. Maybe you can heal yourself.
Well, aren't you hurt pretty bad?
Yeah, but I didn't go down. Gunther has already pulled out like 3 arrows or something out of his butt. But he's bleeding, but he's still standing.
Yeah. Once it starts to seem a little more safe, once he gets up and stuff, I'm going to say, Gunther, come up with your bow and guard here. The bodies.
Ooh, I took 3 arrows, but you still want me to guard?
Well, guard from there, at least.
Yeah.
Just
he goes up there.
No fishing.
Yeah, he goes up there and, he groans as he stands. But he tries to hide. And also...
I'm sorry to interrupt. You can bind your wounds with Tony's house rules, right? It's like a D3.
Not on this. Well, yeah, you can. I'm sorry, you can. But do you want to? Do you actually want to use the cure light wounds? You want to use it on the NPC, Henry? He's going to use it on himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's his spell, so I would suggest that.
Yeah, well,
I would think that he's going to use it himself.
He'll get back to 3 then, because it does a D6 plus 1, so that automatically bump him back up.
Okay.
Yeah, you can bind wounds yourself as you're out there after combat. It's 1D3. You can bind your wounds to gain 1D3 back.
Okay, so I roll 4, so I guess that's 2. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
No, I want to loot the goblins that's why. So I just want to make sure somebody's covered in the thing.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Let's get the little deal and see what you can
You
find.
can either loot or guard. I don't care. One of us has to do something with the goblins.
Well, he's gonna bind his wound and he's gonna try to loot as quickly as possible. He's a thief after all, so.
Yeah. Well, you bound your wounds for the 40 minutes while I was guarding, and then you can come
Let
here.
me look up something here on the goblins,
Nice.
and then I'll go to the right chart I need to go to.
It's not like the dead goblins are going anywhere.
Huh.
I don't know. There may be a necromancer nearby.
Could be.
Rise, dead goblins, rise.
Yeah, y'all can loot the goblins. Roll me a. We'll start with you. It was 4 of them, so we'll say you do 2 each, if that's okay. Birch, roll me 2d100s.
Okay. Here we go. Goblin number 1. 99.
99.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good one. You find 11 silver pieces on that one.
Sweet.
This goblins must be robbing from humans. That's a lot of money for a goblin.
Yep.
And 38.
7 on the next one.
7 silver.
Yep, so 18 to get a total.
Nice.
Gunther, roll me 2d100s.
The first one I got 62.
62. We'll
Second one I
find-
got 94.
All right, so 5 and 7, 12 total. 12 silver pieces total on those 2.
Okay.
Not bad. And I'm assuming that their weapons are crappy goblin.
Yeah, they're you wouldn't want them. I mean, they're just crappy old. Gunther, you could take some of the arrows, but if you did, it would be a -1 to hit on them. I mean, it's because
Okay.
I mean to try to get them to work on your bow. I mean, they're pretty crappy.
Yeah. He has, how many arrows do I carry? Let's see. I believe I have like 12 or something. Yeah, he's gonna take him if it
You're gonna
fits
take
in that
it,
quiver.
Yeah, roll me a d12 and add 1 to that.
All right. I got 3 total.
Yeah, you find 3 on one of the archers and roll for the other one also.
Ooh, 9. Plus
All right.
1 is 10.
Yeah, you can take that many. Like I say, if you want to use them, just remember if you do use them yourself, just remember to take -1 to hit with them.
Okay.
What's the rule on recovering arrows? Can we get ours back? Or
Yeah, the half rule. If you want to get your own stuff back, half.
All right, so I shot 3, so I'll get 1 arrow back. Okay. Huh.
About 20 minutes after y'all do this, Henry comes back awake. About 20 minutes later, the rest of the Benson Hedges group shows back up, and they're like, "What's going on here?"
Ah, I hope you had a good hunt. Seems your camp would have been overrun by goblins, but we took care of them. It was, common courtesy to help other adventurers like that.
Yeah, and you can tell they are very surprised, but very pleased that you were there and what timing it was, because they would have taken poor John down by himself, I'm sure. They unfortunately did not find a boar in the woods. They come back empty-handed, but they offer for you to stay for another fish dinner if you want.
Yeah, so I tell them that we spoke with the magician, Elsicle, and while he did not, he does seem to have a lapse of memory. He did agree to give us some silver in the items, and I give them the remainder. I give to the 2 boss guys. I give them the remainder of the 40. I say we got 50 silver. We've given 10 to John already, but here's an additional 40 for you to divide amongst your men for your effort in collecting this stuff.
Yeah, you can tell they're very humbled about it. I mean, they, of course, try to decline it again, but, they eventually give in and will take it. And you can have another fish dinner. There's still plenty of time in the day, you would think, before it gets dark. You could make it back to the village or back to the Raven, you would think, before dark, or if you wanted to stay the night with them or whatever.
No, I think unless they have any other kind of plans on doing some kind of an adventure they want to take us along to, it seems like they're just camping right now. So I would suggest that that we go back, drop off Henry, and then head back to the Raven, sleep, and then maybe head north to the this temple and explore it.
Yeah, for the time being that they're still staying with the group while they're having that fish dinner, Gunter says, "Well, what about sharing some rumors from the area? Have you heard any lucrative rumors for an adventure nearby here?"
No, that's why we're out here camping. Is we just got away from it all. Sometimes we go down to the Raven and try to listen in to people's talk and uh, listen to people in the village we know. But no, we haven't had any good leads since the one with the Elsicle. And you see how it turned out. Unfortunately for all of us.
Yeah, that is as you say. Well, then we will go back and perhaps we will travel with you all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, anytime. Look us up. And you can find one of us probably down at the Raven or in the village there. Anytime that we've got something going on, you're more than welcome to travel with us.
That sounds good. Benson and Hedges and John und the others. We will see you again. And Gunter gets up after having that fish dinner and he heads off.
I follow.
Yep. And y'all are going back. Do y'all want to go check out the temple also, you say? Like the next day?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think since we're going to be traveling, I might recruit Frank to come if he's willing to travel, because I don't think we want to go and do a temple uh, with only two of us.
Yeah, they would. Both of them would go with you again, and they ask for the same daily price for each day. Two for, and then 6.
Okay.
Yep, he's gonna pay him with the money that he took from the goblin.
All right.
Yeah, because we got a couple of days there, right? And then, okay, so yeah, that's totally
And
reasonable.
you're able to stay in the Raven again another night, and staying indoors like that, you can recover a D6 HP recovery since there's no interruptions
Nice.
staying in a tavern or hotel.
Nice.
So
I'm
everybody can
back to
recover
my
a D6.
full 7 HP. Also, I'm gonna see whether if I can get my henchman a ranged weapon, a sling.
Yeah, you want to buy him a sling? I don't know. Let's see how much it costs. You could find one in the village there. Maybe see though if they have
Yeah,
any markup. They may, being a small village, they may want more than what the book says. Of course,
yeah. It
Let's
should be a
see
pretty
here.
simple sling and a couple bullets.
Yeah, you could get a
Dozen
sling and
bullets.
some sling bullets. There's I'll tell you what. Roll me charisma again. D20.
Oh, brother. And I roll 5, so I rolled under my charisma.
Oh, that's good. You
Yeah,
find normally they probably sell for 2 to 3 gold pieces, but you find a kind of a used one you think would work good enough, and the little village shop will sell it to you for 1 gold.
okay. I'll buy that. Yeah, he's gonna come back and say, "Well, Henry, you did such an excellent job the other day, risking your life and limb. Here's a present for you." And he's gonna give him that sling.
Yep, he'll definitely take it with overjoyed.
Nice.
But yeah, if y'all want to stand out or set out the next day, how about we take our Bible break
Yep.
and we'll come back and go to the temple then and see what happens.
All right,
Sounds
sounds
great.
good.
All right, I'm back.
Me too. I'm still here. I realized that I was using a faulty 2-hit AC 0. I didn't count my dexterity bonus, so it's actually VACO 18.
Oh, Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Sorry. Yeah, my attack was a 19. But I see. I added to the roll. I don't add it to the.
Yeah, I can say just
That's how
that's the easiest to add it to the roll.
Yeah.
And technically, that's what you're supposed to do, because it does matter actually in certain situations. There was this whole discussion about that on one of the forums, where it actually does matter. So you're supposed to add things to the roll and also subtract them from the roll. Like cover doesn't make somebody's armor class better; it subtracts from the roll to attack. So it actually does balance out to, for some reason, make a difference. I'm not sure why. I'm not a mathematician.
Nice.
But yeah, that's how I do it. Simplicity. Plus, I also have a different one for my melee versus my missile. So,
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
I mean, you could just make 2 charts. Actually, I was talking with that Crystal at one point. She said that sometimes she just makes 2 charts. One for missile, one for melee.
Yep.
But then you sometimes forget to figure out range, because range matters. Like I forgot to keep adding because you said they were 60 yards away. I should have been getting a +1 on all my arrow shots. I mean,
you know what? I didn't count that either. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about it, man. Sometimes it's so you miss those 1s or 2s by so many of them to try to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because my first 2 arrows killed the person, and I was rolling a D6 for the damage, and I was supposed to be rolling a D8 +1.
Oh, D8 +1? Nice.
Yeah, well, longbow does a D8, and I have +1 on all weapon attacks because I'm a monk.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but I can't wear armor. Or get a dex bonus for my armor.
Oh, really?
But you got your glove that helped you sometimes.
I got the glove though, thank God. Yeah.
So your AC stays at 9 for good, or is it going to
no,
go down?
Based on your level. I think it goes up 1 point per level, actually. So eventually it becomes pretty badass. But at early levels, it's like, you don't even get dex bonus.
Yeah.
I think in the white box, not white box, Sword and Wizardry, I think he has it so that you get the dex or the monk bonus, depending on which one's better, which is kind of a cool house rule. But
you kind of choose it based
whichever
on...
one is better, which makes sense. That way you're not taking advantage of both.
I think you should. I mean, if you're a monk, why not?
No, I don't mind playing it the way it's supposed to be. I just avoid getting hit, which is a good proposition for everybody to do. Well, also, they kept missing with the arrows. I was trying to use. I have that arrow knocking skill. If I make whenever I get shot with a missile weapon, I can make a saving throw versus breath, and if I succeed, it misses me.
Oh, it's like when you catch an arrow in the air or something.
Or dodging, it's called. But yeah, so I can basically do. I mean, I don't want to get shot, but if it did, at least I have that extra bonus. The monk saves clerics may dodge a missile of non-magical nature with a successful saving throw versus breath attack, or dodge missiles with successful save throw versus spell-like devices. Hold on, what? Monks use clerics, they may dodge missiles of a non-magical nature with successful saving throw versus breath attacks, or dodge magic missiles with a successful save versus spell-like devices.
Ooh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can dodge magic missiles? That's crazy.
Well, it says magic missiles, so I'm assuming what that means is like fire. Well, no, it wouldn't be a fireball. I would imagine it'd be like, I don't even know what it would be then. What would magic missile be?
Well, maybe they're just talking about magic missile.
Yeah, or they might be just saying like a +1 arrow. I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna go all Matrix on us.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, it's funny because spells and spell-like devices is actually an easier save, so that's bizarre. It's actually easier to dodge a magic missile. But then when saving against other effects that deal damage, successful saving throws result in no damage, even when it would normally be half. So that's pretty much, I'm buff there, but like I can get hit really easy. So, yeah.
All right, y'all head out the next day and are going to the Starflame Mountains to find the Temple of Rao, huh?
Yep.
we'll say to cut down on time, we'll say it's 2-day travel. So make sure your hirelings, it's the 2 silver and 6 silvers per day. So it's 2 days there and roughly 2 days back. So 4 days if they all make it back.
All right. Well, what I'm gonna do, because I have the money now, and because my guy has a family, is I'm gonna pay him 10 silver up front, which is 5 days, because I figure we're gonna spend a day there.
All right.
And he can leave that with his family just in case anything happens.
Yep. Well, he's gonna pay him up front as well. So, yep.
I mean, of course, if we pay him and he takes it with him, then we're just gonna take it off his body. Hey, you said you had a family.
Well, we'll say, let me see. He does take it with him. Yours does, Birch. Gunther, your guy takes his with him too. Then both. They don't leave it there. They don't leave it there if anybody before y'all leave out.
Yeah, that's 24 gold pieces, silver pieces for him. So it's not that much.
Well, if he dies, we'll take it back off his body.
How much did we earn during our previous adventure? I think we got like a couple thousand or something.
I know you've got some stuff that you could take and you got to take to the city and sell at some point.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
things
sarcophagus loot was about there was a necklace with a value of about 1,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, I got a bracelet with 500. Yeah, and as far as like cash money that I had, anyways, listed. Well, I spent some of it already, so I don't remember what it was when we started, but 91 gold pieces, 37. I think it was 42 silver, something like that, and 2 copper is what I had.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that I started with before we looted stuff, and then I have some items. Yeah, 500 gold pieces, 50 gold pieces, 2 gold pieces. So,
yeah, I think you got a little bit of spending money here for right now. I think probably.
Yeah, we got a little cash. I mean, we're not loaded unless we sell the items, but we definitely can.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, we had somehow, because I made a note at the Raven, so we can leave stuff there, right? That we made a deal.
They will keep small stuff. If it gets to be where they're having to take up some room, they're going to charge you, of course. But if it's just like a small pouch or stuff like that, I mean, they'll keep it pretty much for free.
Yeah, so I basically am leaving mostly everything except for the silver, because of no sense in carrying. I want as much space on me as possible to carry loot back. And I don't expect us needing a bunch of money.
From Mosgrow, in the previous adventure, we got like 100 silver each, right?
Yep. And then he's selling that stuff, and in a couple weeks, or a couple sessions, really, he'll bring you the proceeds from what your percentage is also.
Well, that's right.
Nice. Very nice. Yep. So I definitely do have enough to pay the guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. Y'all travel then. You make it. Just to jump ahead though, nothing happens. You find you talk to some people along the way, and they kind of give you further directions how to find the old temple, and some of those people you say, oh yeah, we've talked to people who say that there's fires there during the day and at night. They see fires and smoke and stuff, but shouldn't be anybody there. It's abandoned. And let me pull up the temple. I think I got a map of it. I believe I made one. Let's see. Or didn't make one. I found one that will work for it. But I don't think you can be able to see this, though, are you, Daniel?
If you share the screen, you're gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, let me see if I can put it on the screen also.
Yeah, if you want to share it with me, I have to. Yeah, I shouldn't have upgraded. Next time I won't. I'll switch back to the other.
Let's see here. Let me move it over to. Maybe I can figure this out.
Well, or if you want, I can just. You can just send it.
There it goes. I got it. It just took a minute for it to open up on the screen for some reason.
Oh.
This is the outside of the temple, pretty much. When you get up in the mountain range, you see a stone walkway that's still there, but it's handmade, to prepare to get into it. you can follow that route to get to it. You see the growth of the trees and bushes. You can tell that it's been what you would think abandoned for quite some time, though.
Oh yeah, so it's like that ledge climbing up to it. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, Birch is very excited to walk up here.
Nice. As we go below after the first corner, the second corner, if we look up, could we see the columns of the temple?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, you can
Okay.
see
You want me
that.
to check it out?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna say, well, perhaps I could climb up there and take a look before we turn around the corner and go up the front entrance, he says.
Okay, if you want to.
He looks up. How high is that ledge or the cliff?
We're going to say it's roughly. Let me see. It's roughly 40 to 50 feet, probably up to the where the temple is itself, above that walk path that you're on.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna try and climb up and take a peek to see whether if there's anything that would ambush him on the way uh, up towards the entrance.
So you want to try to climb up the actual open face cliff itself?
So could you put up the map once more?
Yeah. Let me get to the deal
And you're a thief, right? So you
Yeah.
to make sure I
mean-
understand exactly what you want to do.
I think the only skill that he has, reliable skill he has is the climbing. But with my luck, he's gonna fall down. So
Well, yeah, you want to see you're kind of in the pathway up underneath it, and to climb up that ledge is a good 50 feet probably up.
okay. If he were to try and do that, how many checks do I need to make?
What are you using? What kind of gear roughly? You got gear like rope and tackle and grappling hooks and all that?
No, he does not. He just has climbing walls 87% for thief skills.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got the
Look at
posture of
something.
serpents. He's a thief.
Yeah, he's gonna be using his daggers basically to try and climb up there. But does he have some rope? He doesn't have. Wait, hold on.
I do not have rope. I have thieves' tools, which I would imagine if the tools are required, then they're
Well, yes, I do have a silk rope and a grappling hook and the thieves' tool as well. Yep, Tony, I do have them.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well, I mean, that would just maybe help you. It's 50 feet up, so you're only going to have to make one roll for each 100 feet, so you just have to make one.
All right.
Does using the rope benefit him to use it while he's climbing, or is it better for me to tie the rope around your waist and then hold it while you climb up, and just case you fall down, you don't go all the ways off the side?
I mean, would you ever secure him like where he doesn't completely fall off the
Exactly.
further off?
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, using the grappling hook and considering that the rope itself is about 50 foot, he's gonna, and being that he's an experienced climber, he's gonna probably throw the grappling hook up to like somewhere in the middle, and use the rope to climb up. And using his climbing ability, I see a little ledge there. When we look at that map.
Yeah, there's like a ledge that you can get on there to see the wall of the old temple, and probably you would think some of the walls are probably crumbled in, and also.
Yeah, so he's gonna go up to the first ledge, and then from there, do that again to safely climb up. So
you tell Birch that you're going to do that before you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it might be a bad idea to throw the grapple up to the very top if you're trying to sneak up on somebody.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I will leave the grappling hook I will not use the grappling hook to do that. I think I can climb up there without any of these gear. And he's going to leave him and just going to roll for it.
Would you want me to tie the rope around your waist just in case you do fall? Because then I can hold you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we'll do that. I'll take my spear and jam it into the rock and wrap the rope around it several times, and I'll hold the end of it. So if he goes off the side, I can support him.
All right, make your roll and let's see what
Here
happens.
we go. Yeah, 59. So no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you have a little stop and all. Maybe it's been a while, a little bit rusty, but you're able to make it up there and get to that ledge. And when you get to the ledge, the part of the walls are crumbled in at this old monastery, old temple, and you're able to look in. You see an area that appears to be like a large. I mean, it's probably, you would think, 15 to 20-foot radius of like a fire pit, of this stone fire pit that's been built. And there's no fire or no smoke coming from it now. But there is something else that you notice that catches your eye pretty quickly about it. Walking around this area, you see these very large footsteps imprinted into the ground, very large humanoid looking footprints that have been imprinted into the ground around here and walking around part of the old temple area.
Okay. He's gonna let down the rope. He's gonna find some place to tie it, or use the grappling hook to tie one end. One that was around his waist onto the grappling hook, and he's gonna find some, nice solid rock or something to hook that, and he's gonna let down. He's gonna let the other guys climb up using the rope.
Yeah, you can do that. You can secure it and all that.
Yeah.
Birch, just make me one check. Just roll a d20 on your dex.
Okay. Well, I have a climb wall skill as well.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
It's 103%.
Okay.
Oh.
How do you get 103?
Because monks get plus 10%, and I have plus 5 for my dex, or whatever. I don't know. I got it plus 6 of it.
Oh, okay. So you get plus 5 for your dex. I didn't realize
you can
that.
get plus on your dex depending on what your dex is. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta look it up in the thieves skill table in the advanced part.
Okay.
Yeah.
The key here is not to roll 100, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess you can be 103 because, like, if there's circumstances where the DM might be like, well, this is a minus 20 on this wall because it's falling apart. Then, but if it's a normal wall, then I basically can't fail.
Yeah,
unless
right.
Unless you say 100 fails, that's true.
Just
Wow, that's
I can say
crazy.
just roll and make sure you don't get 100.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. No, 44.
Oh yeah, you scoot up. Gunther is probably shocked at how much faster you're able to scoot up.
Well, I'm not wearing any armor, so 39.
Let me see. I'm going to roll for the two henchmen just to make
It's
sure
like when
they.
you got that ranger. And you kept saying,
wow.
like, all the skills you were using, my character had a better number than you.
Yeah.
Birch, you're amazed at by the two hirelings. One of them rolled a 12 and one of them rolled a 23.
Oh, wow.
They get up like super fast. They really surprise you.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, y'all are all up there, and you look and peer into, and all of you can see the big, huge. It's probably 10 to 15-foot radius of this big stones have been piled up, and you see partial wood that's been burned. I mean, there's probably a few waves of smoke coming up from this large fire pit, but the most noticeable thing right now is these huge humanoid footprints in the ground that's walking around the old temple, where you can see the foot imprints into the ground. And if both Birch, Gunther, if y'all want to roll me a intelligence or wisdom d20.
2. Yep. So I definitely made it.
I got a 7 under 16 or 15, so I made it.
Y'all would definitely know, maybe from hearing stories, unless something in your background you would have seen one before, but you definitely know these footprints are going to belong to some type of giant.
Can we tell if they all seem to be the same giant? Like, are they all roughly?
No, you can tell, but this would be a group of them. Definitely, by the way, they're all large, but I mean there is some variation between them.
Yeah.
How large are the footprints? I mean, if I'm looking at it, is it like the size of a person, or?
Oh, I mean, yeah, some of them are like. I mean, you would think some of these giants would probably be in well excess of 15 foot tall.
Oh wow.
I suggest that we try to talk to the giants rather than fight them.
Well, how about we go home? I do not I do not want to face a giant. What if the giant decides to eat me? Yeah?
Well, I mean, I've never met a giant before, and it just seems very interesting to me to interact with one. Don't you think?
Well, from the stories that I hear, they bite your head off and eat you.
Mm, mm. Well, maybe we could just sneak up and see what they're up to.
Well, if you insist. What about you two? He looks at the uh, henchman.
Let's see what their thoughts are. They both seem to be, prepared to stay right now. I mean, they're kind of shaken up by seeing. They've never seen one either, but I mean, they're both pretty good to stay for right now.
Well, hold on a minute, then. And he's gonna get some bush, like some grass or whatever nearby shrubbery. He's gonna cut him with his sword, and he's going to hide the rock where the grappling hook is secured, so that it wouldn't be obvious for passerbys that there's a rope hanging down here. And he's gonna say, "Well, if the giants are chasing after you, I do not believe they are willing to jump down the cliff. So I also saw you climb up here with great speed. So we will make a hasty retreat if they decide to attack us."
That seems fair.
Yeah. And he says, "Well, lead the way." And he stays behind Birch.
Yeah, Birch kind of shrugs, and she's actually going to move towards like the entrance point as quietly as possible. She has a move silently skill at 38, so she's going to try to walk her way over there quietly before the others join her.
Yeah, your moving is like a cat. I mean, pretty soft and moving.
Just want to peek in
You
there.
don't hear anything. You don't see anything. Of course, these footprints, they appear to be fairly recent. I mean, not probably made within the past few hours, but they do. Some of them seem to be pretty recent, probably within the past day.
You said the fire has coals in it, right? So the fire is still kind of warm, or it's completely cold.
There's like a little bit of smoke coming up. You would probably deduce that it hasn't been stoked up in probably at least half a day or longer, or longer than that.
Yeah, because they probably put huge logs into their giants, so they could last for a long time.
Huh.
So yeah, I will. I'm gonna peek, and if I don't see anybody, then I'll wave everybody forward.
What does the temple look like? Has the roof
temple,
collapsed?
yeah, it is pretty much collapsed. Everything is pretty much ground level now.
Okay.
I mean, this thing is old. I mean, you don't see any. There's actually no. There's some stairs there leading down back into the mountain itself. There, if you would have continued the path to get to it. Everything else, there's some stairs leading up, but everything is crumbled in. I mean, you don't see any rooms or any openings like that to actually go into. It appears just to be completely in ruins.
Does it have any roof at all, or has it?
Oh
has
no,
everything-
it's completely all collapsed down.
Okay. And there are like stone columns that are standing?
Yeah, there are still some stone columns. Those black ones, I'm gonna say, are stone columns. They're still standing.
I gotcha.
Well, I think that we should, or Birch will. I mean, she's going to walk up to those stairs that are going down into the earth and see if like they're collapsed in, or if you can actually get into them.
You mean the stairs leading up to the temple, right? I mean, along the path that we were on before, right, Tony?
Well, there's actually stairs that are leading down to the mountain path. But
Okay.
there's also an area of stairs that lead up into this rubble.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Okay, whichever one brings us into the deeper into the temple is the one I want to go into.
Yeah, that would be up towards the rubble.
Okay.
Then my understanding from where you're at. But once you get up there, it's just rubble and caved in everywhere. You don't see any kind of openings to go into to anything. Whatever rooms and division of the temple from years ago there's no way to access it now. You don't think?
Well, perhaps they were using this as some kind of signal point.
Gunther is going to take out one of his black shafted arrow, and he's going to have it knocked on his short bow as he follows along. I mean, he's not going to draw it, and then he's not going to be ready to shoot, but he's actually going to you know, walk with it.
Yep, you can do that. And both of y'all roll a d6.
Four.
I got 6.
A 4 and a 6. You can roll for your henchman too.
I got 3 for mine.
Oh, I didn't hear you, Birch.
5.
A 5? Yeah. Y'all, through the rubble that you're moving along looking, you don't hear anything. You don't see anything out of place. You don't discover anything else as you're looking along that area there.
We can more or less see this entire spot as far as we can tell, and there's nothing here, no entrance.
Yep, exactly. On this side of the old temple, there's nothing at all that you can have access to that you see.
Gunther's gonna try and see if he could get a better look. So he's gonna climb up on one of the stone pillars and have a better vantage point to look around if there are any creatures nearby or if the bushes are rustling.
Yeah, you want to go to one of those pillars that's standing there?
Yeah, one of the taller ones and taller and thicker ones.
Yep, you're able to do that and climb up there pretty easily for you.
Okay.
You
Cool.
look around, you see the outlying of the mountain. You're outside the temple through some of the cracks and rubble. You don't hear anything or see anything. Everything seems to be pretty normal.
Okay. Well, he's gonna climb down and say, "Well, I do not see anything moving in the nearby forest. Perhaps we could take a look here." And he's gonna search the area more carefully.
Inside the temple?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me another d6.
I got 1.
All right, now you can roll me a d100 twice.
I got 0. No, 0, 0, 0. That means 100, right?
100?
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad you didn't do that while you was climbing.
Unbelievable. I've never had that before.
I don't need a rope. Whoa!
Wow, you kick up and find a bag hidden up under some rubble. Well, not hidden, I mean, the rubble's fallen on it. And it's a very heavy bag as you open it up. And it has a lot of silver pieces in it.
Oh, and he says, look over here. I found something. And he waves at all the others to take a look at what he's found.
Oh, interesting.
You won't know this now, but there's how many is in that bag.
Oh, wow. Is it, if not some Gunther stops me, I'm going to try to take one coin out and look at it. Does it look old? Like, is it as like in a...
Yeah, if you take them out and look at them, they definitely do not appear the standard mint of what's being used and what you use now. You can tell these are probably pretty old.
Tony, you asked me to roll two D100s, right?
Yeah, roll me the other one now.
Okay. This time I got 92.
Oh my God, that's the number of giants that come.
Yeah, 92 giants. You are going to find, as you're kicking and moving that one, you find another bag up underneath that one, but it doesn't have much in it.
Okay.
But eventually you will find that many silver in it.
Nice.
Well, it looks like these are remnants of the ancient temple. There could be more things here.
There's a big one. The big bag here looks like it belonged to one of the owners of the footprints. Yeah.
That is a large bag. Let's keep guard. I'll see if I can find anything, and I'm gonna look around.
Yeah, roll me a 2 or D6 first. I mean,
Birch, 2.
A 2. Okay, that will work. Roll me 2 D100s then.
Oh. Oh, there's something over here. A giant. 83.
83.
A giant is hiding in this tiny little hole.
Well, all the rocks are spreading everywhere as it bursts.
You find a belt pouch that actually has what you're surprised to see because you don't see many of them with 30 gold in it.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, nice.
It's laying there. You find that first. Let's see. Now roll me another one.
65.
You kick up another belt pouch that has, once you count them, 80 gold in
Oh man,
it.
jackpot. Okay.
Oh, wow. And this also looks very old.
Yeah, the coins, you can tell these are old coins from probably used a long time ago.
This is probably not left here by our large friends, I don't think. They're quite ancient.
Well,
I think they're just using this spot as a signaling point. There could be a bigger something going on, a war or something, where they need to be up high to signal. And I'm gonna look around, like I'm gonna see if there's other mountain areas around us, and just look for any, like very carefully looking for any kind of signals of smoke or anything from any distance I can see.
Yeah, you can do that. How much time do you want to spend looking around here? Roughly how much?
What time of day is it?
Gunter is gonna. I mean, he's really nervous already, and the fact that he's found some wealth, being a thief, knows that someone's out there guarding it. So he's gonna be like, "Well, we have found our haul, so let us haul ourselves and get back to the town."
You know what I'll do is, because I'm faster than everybody else, because my speed is 120, which I think the normal speed is 90. I'll say go ahead, and I'll wait like 5 minutes, and then I'll follow behind.
Yeah. Yep. So you're going to proceed to take your stuff and leave Gunther so far?
Yeah, I'll send Gunther and also my henchman. And because I am faster, I don't know what the normal speed is, but I know my speed is 120, which I believe is much faster than the regular person.
Gunther, I mean, as paranoid as he is, he's going to pull up that rope that they've been using to get up, and he's going to tie the bags, and then he's going to lower it down. And he'll climb down with the heavier bag first. And he's going to say, well, I will stay down here, and you could tie the rest of the bags, and I will make sure that they are safely down the
Yep.
path.
Roll me if you're going to climb back down that way. Go the hard way. Roll me to get back down.
Okay. 58.
Yep, you're able to make it and get it down there secured. Birch, you notice as you're looking around for the signal fires or anything else, you don't see anything else coming off the mountain. I mean, to indicate any kind of smoke signals or smoke or anything or any fires at all. You don't hear anything or see anything during that time.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So once it's all down and I've spent a few minutes doing that, then I will also climb down.
Yep. Roll me your deal. Just make sure you don't get 100.
That'd be so terrible. 27. Yeah.
Yep, you get down pretty fast. Let's see. Well, they do pretty well again too with a 5.
Nice.
So they definitely get down. They're ready to get out of town too. It looks like.
Yeah, they're better than we are.
Yeah, y'all make it back down to the pathway there on the mountainside itself.
Okay, so
probably an hour has passed. You would think, probably. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. With his shifty eyes, Gunther scans the road and says, well, let us haul ourselves out of here and back to the Roadhouse.
Yeah, I agree. We should move as quickly as possible. But just I am actually not faster. If it does come up, I'm not faster. Well, they list the speed, so I just assumed it was because it was faster, but it gets faster eventually. But right now, I'm normal speed.
Okay.
But in any case, I say I agree. I'm like, let's get the heck out of here, and let's head back as quickly as possible.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. You head back. It's a 2-day journey. Oh no! Should have known it. Let's see. No, that won't work for this area. Thank goodness, because that wouldn't be good for y'all. Let me look at something else here. Oh, man. That will work. y'all are the first day goes by well. On the second day, you're coming back, into a more populated area. You think getting closer, but as you do, you look in the roadway and you are going to see. Oh, there's only one of them. But it's pretty large. I mean, it's bigger than any of them you've ever seen. You see a large, kind of like it's shaped like a very large monkey or a very large baboon. It's just kind of sitting in the roadway there, kind of hunched over.
Gunter's gonna whisper to Birch, "What is that? Have you ever seen such a creature before?"
I have not. It looks a bit wild, but we don't know what it'll do.
Well, it's not charging at us, so maybe we should stand back and have it move along the road.
Yeah, I agree with that. And while we're doing that, she's going to kind of flip her back down. She's going to start pulling out some rations. And she says, I think we can maybe keep it occupied with this. And she'll pull out some food. How far away is it?
We'll say roughly 30, 40 yards. So
It's not so far away. So I'm going to open up a ration and take a couple of bites of it. And then so that it's showing its food basically. And then I'm going to toss it about halfway between myself and the creature.
Yeah, when you do that, it looks up. It's probably the sound of it hitting there, and it looks up and sees the ration and sees y'all, and it charges straight towards y'all. Roll, and it seems to be very aggressive. So we'll roll initiative.
He's gonna say, "Well, I think it's hungry, but I don't think he will eat a ration. He would rather eat us." Oh, wait, what am I rolling? 1d6, right?
Yep, and your dex.
All right, I got 5.
I also got 5. 5 seems to be my...
Oh, wow, he had a 5 too.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So Birch, you and which one of y'all have got the better dex, I guess?
My dex is...
Birch's is 16, I believe.
Yeah. Is there I have a spear, so I don't know if that... I'm just trying to see if there's I don't think there's anything.
Is it a short distance?
It's 30 yards, so I think it can probably get to us because outside movement is yards, not feet.
But that's a short distance for missile weapons, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I just want to see, because if I'm better off using, this is a lance. Okay, so nothing with horse. Yeah, because it uses basic words. Okay, so there's no charging for holding the thing against charge. So I'm going to shoot it with my bow then.
All right.
There's no advantage of me using the spear. All right, so I shoot at it, hopefully with the bow. I'm sure it's short distance from me for sure. A short bow is probably as well. Ooh, 19, 20, and then plus 2.
Yeah, AC 6, so that'll hit.
Yeah, this guy
is what it is.
All right, so a D8 plus 1. Well, she was like Birch the Slayer with the spear, but I guess this is a good 6 points of damage.
6 points, yeah. You strike into it, but it's still moving towards y'all very aggressively.
All right, if it's Kunter's turn, he's gonna knock the arrow and shoot. And I rolled natural 20 this time, so that's a definite hit.
Oh man, yeah.
And he has that black arrow knocked, before.
Yep, you did.
I'm gonna be using that.
Nice.
And he does 2 points of damage plus 4 points of fire damage.
Awesome.
What do you do to this thing to just burn it up, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, he just, knocks that black arrow he's been carrying around for a little while, and he says, He doesn't say anything. He closes one eye, aims at it, and lets it fly. And the arrow embeds itself into the mouth of the creature as it's screeching and charging towards it. And the head catches fire.
Yep. You hit it and it just catches on fire, and then you hear, and it's all of its friends rush up. No.
Oh, brother.
And now it really starts.
Hey, nope. You burn it down and are able to proceed on then.
Gunter says, yeah, this is a good arrow, yeah?
Well done.
And of course, that arrow is not recoverable, so but you still got 2 of them left.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming the guy's on fire. My arrow lost 2, so I'm not going to bother to try to get it.
But yeah, you lost yours since it's on fire. Okay. But yeah, y'all make it back to the Raven then, and with all your goodies and stuff. And that pretty much wraps it up. Y'all went on both of your rumors this time. Did you make it back to the Raven and stuff for late lunch or whatever and prepare to talk? How's it going to end for Birch on this session?
So Birch gets back to the Raven. She's really interested in this whole thing with the giants, and she thinks there's definitely something going on. So she's mostly going to, sip her tea, eat some light food, and contemplate where she can get information about the giants for the next time.
All right, sounds good. What about Gunther?
So Gunter is surrounded by a couple of female bar patrons or something, and he's got a mountain of food on the table, and he's like looking at them, and he's gesturing wildly as he says, "And the giant ape caught its head on fire, and that is how we ended up here, unscathed." And that's basically it. And he takes a big bite of the famous apple pie.
Huh. That is good. You do that. As soon as you take that bite of apple pie, Penny starts playing the instrument and enjoyable. We go back to Elsicle for a moment as he starts looking at the sword and he's like, where did this come from? I don't remember buying this. Maybe I could get 10 silver for it, I hope. Maybe if I put it up for sale. I guess I'll put it out tomorrow, though, if I can't remember where it come from. Then we go to the abandoned temple, and as we do, you see this figure walking back into the temple.
Oh.
And as it does, it moves in, and you see three more walk in behind it. And the one in the back goes, I smell visitor. Visitor's been here. Smell like dirty human. I wonder what they wanted, as you're speaking in their language. The lead one goes, well, I don't know, but they could have started the fire up for us again. It's getting chilly this evening. And that will end session 2 of the rumors found in the Raspy Raven Roadhouse. And hopefully we'll be back next month on time to do session 3.
Nice.